one of the worst aspects of the film was them together. It's like, what? To say the least, watching the scenes with him in it were painful. But hello everyone. I feel like I haven't filmed in a long time. Probably because I haven't. But today we're going to be talking about the new Cinderella. Now, flashback to what feels like forever ago when I made one of my first videos on Cinderella and saying how much I loved it. And I was dispelling a lot of myths about how people say that it's like not empowering for females and it's not a good fairy tale for children. But yeah, so I had made a whole video on that saying how much I loved it. So watch that first. And you might think that I'm gonna shit all over this new 2020 version of Cinderella, which I am. But to be honest, I didn't think it was as bad as people are saying it is. Well, at least maybe I was just so prepared for something like horrendous that what it actually wasn't that bad compared to what I had in my mind. Like, it's not the worst thing ever. I'm just confused about why it exists. Especially since there are so many adaptations of Cinderella. They really didn't bring anything new to the table. Like, I feel like maybe they should have tried a different fairy tale if they wanted to try something like new and like zingy, because we've seen adaptations of Cinderella so many times before. Yeah, I don't really think they thought about why they were making the film. And also it feels like they were really focused on the music. Like, to me, it just felt like I was watching like several music videos that kind of had like a loose narrative plot tied to it, but it just felt like I was watching like a music video after music video after music video. Oh, I didn't mention it's a musical. Don't know why they needed to make it a musical. So I feel like they were really just advertising like the songs, like they're like remixes of like modern songs. That was the other thing. Like, they gave them kind of weird period dresses. Like, it looked like they were supposed to be from some sort of medieval time, but then they only sing modern songs and they didn't have any originals in there, I don't think, except for the 1 in a Million thing, which was the worst song in the whole film. So yeah, I just didn't know what direction they were trying to take it. So I briefly just talked on the music, but let's go deeper. I have to say, I don't know if it was just the songs they had to sing, but Camila Cabello and whoever the hell that guy that plays the prince, their singing was not good. It was, I don't know, was not a fan. I feel like every other person there was a really talented singer, like especially that gospel choir that they had going. And like in the only good the like best scene was the mashup between What a Man and Seven Nation Army. That was the best film. Sorry, that was the best scene in the whole film. And yeah, ooh yeah, ooh. Hey, come in you way. And the message coming from my eyes says leave it alone. La 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 la. I feel like those women were great singers. Yeah, I feel like all the supporting cast were good singers. It was just Camila Cabello and that other guy that I don't know, that I don't really feel like they brought anything in terms of singing, but it might have just been the songs that they had to sing. I don't know. Okay, James Cordan. He was a producer of the film, and you could tell because he had such an overstated role to play, considering he was the mouse. The fact that I was clapping reminded me of that stupid scene of them clapping, and I'm so disappointed with myself. But anyway, so I don't know why he had such a prominent role when he was the mouse. He was a mouse and the footsman when he became a human. So like to say the least, watching the scenes with him in it were paid for. I don't know what it is about James Corden. Like, it's like the vibe he gives off. It's just repellent. I don't know why. I feel like a lot of people feel this way about him, and I'm not really sure why. He just gives off that energy. And then we also had like Ramesh Ranganthian, I don't know how to say his last name, and James Alcaster. Now, look, I'll watch the occasional episode of Taskmaster. I'll watch, and they're occasionally on there, and they're pretty funny. But I don't understand why they were in this film. They're like comedians, and I have to say their parts weren't too funny. They didn't bring that much to the film. I was just kind of confused why they were cast in the film at all. It was just confusing. I don't know why they were there. Gwen. Now, it was a really hard toss-up whether she was more annoying than James Corden or if she was the most annoying person. Besides the fact that she's the king-queen person at the end, like, that seems to be the only reason why she's in this film. She's like that really annoying relative that just won't shut up about politics, and like, they just suck. That is the character of Gwen. Sorry, I should if you haven't watched it, Gwen is the prince's sister, and she's like really vocal and such a girl boss, if you know what I mean. But she was just so annoying, and I was like, ugh. The movie definitely would have been improved if she did not exist. Just saying. Okay. The stepmothers and sisters. They really didn't seem that bad. Like, the worst thing that they did was one sister said that Cinderella had like dirt on her face, and they were also saying like, why are we doing Cinderella work when they were like hanging out washing. And then the worst thing that the stepmother did was throw ink on the dress, and that dress wasn't too good anyway, so yeah, I feel like the stepmother was kind of redeemed in this one, which maybe that was a bit unique, and I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad about it, because like there was no real villain or like complication that she had to overcome. I don't know if they were trying to say that she like overcame the patriarchy or like society by making dresses, but there was no real like villain. So I'm not sure about how I feel about them making the stepmother so redeemable, because there really was no other complication. But they were like, okay, and it was Idina Menzel. Like, she has an amazing voice. And it just did not compare to Camila singing. I'm sorry, it wasn't even comparable. The romance. If you want to watch this movie, like, for the traditional kind of, like, love story between the prince and Cinderella, don't, because it is so underwhelming. Their relationship is so, like, superficial, and just, like, if the criticism originally for the Cinderella tale is that they, like, hardly know each other and that their relationship is built on nothing, I have never felt that sentiment more than watching this film. Like, they're just, compared to any other version of Cinderella, their relationship was just so empty. It was so lacking. It was so nothing. It was a nothing burger. And the prince himself kind of sucked. I wasn't on board and whatever like he was trying to portray. He just kind of, I don't know. He seemed like a nice guy / douche, and I've never seen that combination before. But I didn't like it. He was also kind of a doormat. He's like, oh, I'll buy your dress three times what it's worth. I'll give it to my sister to wear for the ball. Come to the ball. I'll give up my crown. He was just like, he was giving a lot more than what Cinderella was giving, which was like 0. Yeah. I feel like they're one of those people, like, in real life, if that was a real relationship, it would last about a month, maybe. Yeah. That was not good. That was one of the worst aspects of the film, was them together. It was just bleh. The dress that she wears to the ball sucked. It wasn't like that's the problem about why they made this adaptation. You just could think of so many other like movies that did it so much better, and then it just made your version suck, even though it wasn't that bad. But we just can draw on so many other times where they did it better. So I don't understand why you did it. Her dress sucked, and it wasn't comparable to the 2015 version of like that beautiful gown that just had so many layers. And when they're dancing, like properly ballroom dancing, it's not comparable. They sang like their dance was to Ed Sheeran. It's like, what? You got everyone in costume and they're gonna dance to Ed Sheeran. It's like yeah. I just that's all I have to say. And also at the end, she couldn't even like there's a random queen that comes up to her in the ball and is like, I need someone to dress me. And I would love for someone to be like my personal dressmaker. Now, Cinderella only shows her sketches at the end. She out of the whole film, we see her make two dresses. One sucked and was bought by the prince, her savior, and given to the sister, Gwen. And then the second one got destroyed, and it wasn't that nice. I couldn't believe she was going to wear that to the ball. It was gross. And you couldn't even, it wasn't even like that sentimental value of like, oh, this is my mother's dress. And you're like, oh, that's lovely. That's so cute. And it doesn't matter that it's not the most magnificent like gown ever. It's because it has sentimental value. But the fact that she's supposed to be a wonderful dressmaker and that she made that and thought, oh, this is worthy of a ball. It just, it made no sense. It made no sense. Whew, I've really worked myself up into a frenzy. When I started this and when I was writing my thoughts down, I was really like, oh, this movie isn't that bad. It was kind of okay. But now that I'm really thinking about it, it didn't need to exist, is what I'm saying. So that was my rant on the Cinderella 2021 Amazon movie. Maybe that's the other thing. Like, I haven't seen other things by Amazon. Maybe they're still trying to like find their groove about how they make films and stuff like that. I mean, it had some interesting shots. It was comedic in some ways. It was okay. But it didn't need to exist. And those are all my thoughts. So thanks for watching. See you next time.